Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 22nd day of August 2022. I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope that you're safe and healthy today, and that the same could be said for your family, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food and shelter and clothing as well as health are being met on this Monday. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here every day trying to save lives, and those also who pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks, highways clean, and those that make deliveries like food for our convenience. Double blessing on the men and women out here trying to help deliver and rescue the victims of the teenagers and the children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia, happening every day in every state, in every county of the United States. Curses. And those also, that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, those that are victims also of pornography, child pornography, those that are victims also of sex slavery and human trafficking, and double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts who are out here trafficking in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children who are homeless without a roof over their head in the United States, and millions around the world, similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. I want to respond real quick and try to add a little bit of calm to Knicks Nation. It's been reported today by Shams that the Knicks offered Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, and 2 unprotected first-round picks to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. I want y'all to be calm about this because this is a negotiation. It's not saying the Knicks will actually send Obi Toppin over there. And let me explain why I know that. Let's say, for example, you have, like in my family, we have a hutch that my wife and I obtained for free 30 years ago. Neighbor gave it to us. They're going to throw it out. And we've had it in our family for more than 30 years. So recently, when we moved to Florida, my wife been trying to get rid of the hutch, but the kids grew up with the hutch. So the kids did not want to get rid of it. And when we sold the kids our house, they wanted to keep the hutch because it's like a family heirloom. Now, one of my daughters said, there's no way we would never get rid of that hutch. I would never sell it to anybody. It's not going to happen. Right. And she means that. But if somebody came to her and said, I'm going to give you $100,000 for this hutch, she'd think about that. Right? If somebody said, I'll give you $1 million, the hutch would be gone. You understand? So even though the intent is to never sell it, there is a price upon which you might sell it. But it's unlikely that anybody would come forward with that kind of money for it. So it's likely you're keeping it. How does that relate to what we're talking about? Obi Toppin is not a primary trade piece for the Knicks. Okay, he's the future at power forward. So why would this report come out? Because the Knicks know very well the Ripper's not taking 2 unprotected. So the Knicks are saying, oh, you want Obi Toppin? Okay, we're only going to give you 2 unprotected because that's what you would get in terms of the value of Obi Toppin for us, knowing that Ainge ain't doing that. So now you say, okay, oh, you don't want Obi Toppin and 2 unprotected? We taking Obi off the table and maybe we give you 3 then. You see how that works? So it's negotiation, just like when Ainge came at the Knicks saying, I want 7 first-round picks. You see? So it's a negotiation. He knows the Knicks ain't doing that, and the Knicks knows he's not doing Obi and 2 unprotected. See, Evan Fournier has got to be involved in the deal, and I told you that because of his salary, $18 million. The question is what young pieces are going with him and how many unprotected first-round picks is going to be. So don't get riled, Knicks Nation. When you hear these outrageous things going back and forth, every phone call is a negotiation. When phone calls get leaked to the media, then all of a sudden you start getting Knicks Nation going crazy, and that's clickbait. Now, in Sham's case, we know he's one of the 3 wise men, so they probably made this offer. But I just want you to let you know, we know Ainge ain't taking that. And somebody would ask, well, why would Ainge take it? Well, he's not going to. The purpose is to tell Ainge, if you want an increase in the number of unprotected picks, Obi's off the table. See, that's how that works. So don't get riled at it. Don't get riled at it. So there are players everybody for the price is available. So, for example, if Kevin Durant, which he doesn't, but if Kevin Durant wanted to come to the Knicks, as an example, do you think the Knicks would hold RJ Barrett out of that trade? Or if Giannis Antetokounmpo said, I want to play for New York, I'm going to opt out of my contract and I want to play for New York, and Milwaukee said, we need RJ Barrett. That's a done deal, right? Because even though RJ Barrett is not a prime trade piece to the Knicks, there's a price at which, everybody would pay, right? Not that Giannis is going to do that and not that the Knicks are going to do that, but that's what I'm saying. If you get a certain price, it will happen. Okay. So with regard to Utah, Obi is not going there. RJ is not going there, and probably Grimes is not going there. So it becomes now a matter of, okay, you don't want the 2 unprotected picks. You want more. We're taking Obi off the table then. You can get X player now. We talk about X player and 3 unprotecteds or 4 unprotecteds and XYZ players. Okay. So it's part of the negotiation. Do not get hyped as if it's an imminent possibility. I told you this deal will not get done probably till Labor Day weekend. I'm thinking Labor Day weekend, they want to wrap this up. Mark Berman said, may not be till camp. I hope it will be before camp because, as I said, this is an important season in year 3 to rebuild. Both teams want to have their teams set before the beginning of camp. And the Lakers certainly are not going to remain with the roster they now have by training camp. That's certainly not going to happen. Now, also, it was reported by Shams, apparently, I didn't see the report myself, but it's reported that Memphis is now interested in Kevin Durant. But Memphis is taking Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane off the table. Guess what? That's not happening. Okay, if you're the Knicks and you're going to trade Kevin Durant, you're going to want 3 or 4 unprotected first round picks. Plus, you're going to want Jaren Jackson Jr. and you're probably going to want a Desmond Bane or Dylan Brooks. To not only make the salaries work, but for your talent, because you're still trying to win with Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. So that's not going to happen. You take Jaren Jackson Jr. off the table and immediately you don't have a deal. Okay. So a lot of calls get made every day in the NBA and some of them get reported. That does not mean a deal is happening. Okay. Especially when you listen to the particulars, like Memphis is saying Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. are off the table. Well, guess what? Kevin Durant's not going there. Would you trade Kevin Durant for Jaren Jackson Jr.? You'd be laughed out of town. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. With regard to the Knicks, okay, Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier ain't 2 unprotected. The Ripper gonna laugh at that. He's gonna laugh at that. He could get better than that from Washington. Okay. He could get a better deal than that from Washington. So he's not doing that. But the whole point is it's a negotiation. So you start with the low ball, just like Ainge started with the high ball. 7 first round picks. You ridiculous, right? Okay. Obi Toppin and 2 picks. You ridiculous. Okay. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. Okay. And that's what they're negotiating. So you're going to hear a lot about recent phone calls, but they don't mean anything until you get to the point where the deal is imminent. Okay. And don't listen to all of these falsehoods regarding these fakers talking about a deal is imminent. They've been saying that for weeks now, right? Deal is imminent. I heard it's going to be a haul. Some goober from Utah. I heard it's a haul and the deal is done. Wait till you hear from Shams. Wait till you hear from Begley. Wait till you hear from Woj, especially Woj in these cases, that a deal is imminent. Now you know something's getting ready to get done. But this, don't get tripped, because this is about the negotiation. Believe me, Obi ain't going nowhere. All right. But I just want you to calm y'all down. It's part of the negotiation process. And let the Don and his crew do their thing and negotiate in peace. Don't make no judgments yet. Let's see what happens. I'm thinking, like I said, at the end of Labor Day weekend, I think we'll know what's going on. But in the meantime, stay cool. Shalom.